Happy sip day, gentlemen.
Hey, how's it
Hey
going?
guys, happy Sip Day.
Good, doing good. Top of mind topic, knowing that Tucker just got back from a awesome honeymoon trip overseas, was travel insurance and different ways you can protect yourself when going on these international trips or booking different things like hotels, rental cars, and what kind of protections it has when you do it with a credit card versus not. So, Tucker, just wanted to kick it off to you real quick and talk about the importance of it when you're traveling internationally.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Nav said, traveling internationally, it definitely makes a lot of sense to purchase any type of travel insurance. My quick story for you guys is that I was in Africa and I had a flight cancellation that caused me to come home 1 day later, but it was supposed to make me come home 2 or 3 days later. So, unfortunately, we had to ditch the airline we were originally on and rebook a flight that could get us home earlier with another airline altogether. And short notice, international, not a cheap experience. Um, so travel insurance comes into play when there's any types of trip interruptions, delays, any issues you can really think of. A few that I'm reading here from the benefits that I received from purchasing the travel insurance: pre-departure and post-departure trip cancellation and interruption benefits, travel delay benefits, misconnection benefits. They have a pet care benefit in case you're traveling with pets, baggage and personal effects benefits, electronic and professional equipment benefits, baggage delay benefits, cancel for any reason, cancel for business reasons. There's all sorts of rental car benefits, things like that, and then there's also emergency evacuation benefits and medical benefits as well. So, there's if something were to happen to you while you're traveling internationally, American insurance, your insurance you have here at home probably doesn't cover it, probably won't help you as much as you'd like it to. So honestly, for it could vary a few $100s, something like that, depending on the trip you're taking. But it really pays off to have it in a situation like this. I will admit, I was very hesitant to buy it because you're always like, it's not going to happen to me. I'll be fine. And then in this situation, I'm glad I have it. So I'm a living case of why you should do it.
Well, you're back. You're going to be able to use the insurance that you purchased. So I think it was probably money well spent to help you recoup some of the costs that were associated with the pricey plane ticket last minute to travel, internationally, intercontinentally. So that's a success story in my book.
Agreed.
And with regards to the health insurance, if health insurance plans in the United States do not work internationally. So if you're traveling internationally, I would highly recommend purchasing some level of travel insurance that would at least cover medical expenses. But the trip delay, trip cancellation, that stuff is all very helpful. But yeah, zero health coverage traveling internationally, for the regular insurance that you have, and even state to state, depending on your coverages. If you're traveling between states, your coverage might only offer you service in the state where you live, or there might be a tiered level of services that you can use it for from state to state. So number one reason I would say is those health benefits. Um, if you're not purchasing a standalone travel insurance package, depending on which credit card, assuming you're buying your trip on a credit card, the credit card that you purchase on may also offer different benefits for car rental if it's needed, trip cancellation, trip delay, those sorts of things. So um, maybe it's important to have coverages with the insurance company and with the credit card company, because that way, if one of them isn't gonna cooperate or they're not gonna pay, You could have the other as a backup, or maybe it's a situation where you're covered under the policy for certain things, and you're covered under your credit card protections over other things. And that way, with both of the coverages, you're not double paying, which could be helpful.
Yeah, with the rental car specifically, I know my Southwest card and most travel cards has a protection where if you book it with the credit card and you don't take the insurance that the rental car agency takes, then your credit card helps cover any potential liability with conjunction with your own personal auto policy. So, for example, I have Geico. We traveled to Denver for a week and we had a rental car. The very first night in Denver, the rental car got broken into, smashed glass. So I had to take the rental car back to the company, file a claim, went through my policy, and then the credit card also covered any of the deductible that I needed to cover. So with conjunction, that helps save you some costs up front for having to pay an extra insurance policy because you're already paying for your own insurance. And if you have a credit card that has that protection, it's a good way to maximize that benefit, as well as, not have to be as worried when you say, no, I don't want your coverage from the auto policy or the auto rental spot.
I had to have a hard conversation after the fact with my wife, who had purchased that car rental insurance, which actually the insurance costs more than the rental itself.
Mm.
So it was like we actually did a trip to back to the car rental place and canceled that extra coverage because it did have a hefty price tag on it, and we were already covered through the credit card that the car rental was purchased. So important to keep in mind that when you're going places that companies are making money, the more money that you give to them. And it may not be necessary, but they can be suggestive and persuasive to
Yeah.
earn that extra dollar, which is right for them to do. But purchasing coverages that are unnecessary because you're already covered is not right for you.
Correct.
Kind of the other thing that I would take into consideration with regards to travel insurance is what other resources do you have, or what does your total financial picture look like should you need to cover something like a trip cancellation or a trip delay or an interruption in your trip. If you can swing it, then it might not be as necessary to purchase the coverage. But if you're don't have a lot of liquid assets that you could be able to afford some extra costs associated with the trip, it's probably best to purchase the additional coverage.
Well
I would
said.
agree. I would
So,
agree.
so important things is look at the trip, overall costs, where you're going, especially overseas. And then you can always shop around to see what coverages make the most sense. It doesn't have to be comprehensive. It could be specifically for medical, specifically for hotels or bags or flights, or comprehensive. It just depends on situation and your financial resources as well, like Scholar said. So appreciate the info, the time, gentlemen, and hopefully someone will find this helpful for our SIP.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Hey
Have a
guys.
good one.